I don't understand why the Christian community cannot tolerate them.
Apparently it's in the Bible, or they're going from the scriptures that, both sex mustn't,
Okay, I like where you started it from.
Guys, welcome to our first episode of Perspective Lifestyle Podcast. We'll be dealing on the series 50 Shades of a Human Being. Yeah. And first things first, let's just talk about this for a start. Just want to deal with tolerance, just for this episode, just for today's episode, tolerance. Now, tolerance in a way or in a form of how do you like or love multiple people at the same time? How do you have the same type of feelings, or you tell yourself that you have the same type of feelings? How is it possible for someone to say, oh, I have this amount of best friends, I have this amount of lovers? It doesn't make sense.
That's what they probably use. It's one of my best friends.
It's one of. You're supposed to have one. That's why it's the best friend, not multiple. It doesn't make sense. It's just not right.
At all.
It's
that perspective we want to explain today to see. How is it possible for you to have multiple best friends and then you are calling somebody, one of them, as one of your multiple best friends? Is it possible to have multiple lovers like we see in marriages? Men with 2, 3 women, and then they say, oh, I love all of them equally. Is it possible? These are the shades of a human being that we want to see. And we've been living with this for a while. When you brought up that question, that can you have multiple best friends? I was really stunned. I was just there looking
because
like, okay.
you see the time when I brought up that topic, it was about something totally different. I don't know, was it my brother or something that told me that he has his own issues? But so for example, let's just say now, you're a group of people, right? And now it's a group of friends, but now you're expected to treat each and every person the same way, because if you don't treat this person this way, you're gonna be like, oh, you'll be cancelled from the group, you'll be an outcast in the group, nobody will want to deal with you, so you have to tolerate everybody the same, or try to be equal, or let me not use equal, try to be neutral to everyone. But now, how are you going to be neutral when you don't belong in that group of people or that group of friends?
They're not connecting.
You're not connecting.
They're not giving you the vibes, or they're not on the same frequency with you.
Yeah.
When it comes to reasoning or how you do
exactly.
things. And that's exactly the things that were crossing my mind when you asked that question. I was thinking, okay, these are truths I have always wanted to kind of bring out confidently, because let's not fake it. It's not possible for you to love all your children equally. Just don't fake it. It will take a God to do that. Being that you have not been able to contribute 100% in bringing up that child, or that friend, or that wife of yours. It's not just possible. There are other things that will make that child not interest you. I tell my kids, I tell them that, look, you don't have the same weakness. Now, it is the weakness that you show up that makes me get irritated or tolerate you. Now, that was when we were looking at that aspect.
About tolerance, yeah.
About tolerance. You see, now, when I feel that this kind of weakness, I've gone through it, I've had friends that I've been able to practice with, my child is nothing, I can go through that. But if the kind of weakness that the other child or one of the other children exhibits, it's something I've never had an experience with, then it becomes so difficult for you to accommodate that child that moment. And that moment, you begin to struggle with the weakness and the strength of that child. Your love begin to dangle, fight with your irritation. I don't want to say hatred. You just get irritated when you see that child or when the child is experiencing that aspect of his weakness. So I was telling my kids, I said, so that's why you see, every time try as your best to work on your weakness, and then it will be covered up. It doesn't show. We are all not perfect, but the issue is for me to be able to show my love to you. You have to avoid showing your own weakness. And that's why I can't love all of them the same way. I love them, but not the same way, because they don't react to me, they don't relate with me the same way. And I told people, there's no lie about that. That's the only way you can match up and level up. Okay.
But at the same time, it doesn't mean you don't love your kids the same, but you don't love them the same way.
That's
you
the
understand?
word. Thank you.
Yeah.
You see, the right expression is that word. The right thing to analyze there is the way. And people forget and they take the way and take it as the act. No. The
That's
way
the mistake
I
people,
was expressing myself with the way I express myself with kid. If we take the kid as a case study now, a father's love to his children, a mother's love to his children, as a scenario, the way I will love the way I will demonstrate my love to my kids would not be in the same way. First kid, second kid will never get the same way from me. I don't pretend that I don't hide it.
Yeah.
Because per time they relate with me on different way, because they are different. They have their different attributes, they have their different tastes. They are a human being. They have choices that are not the same. Now, for example, let's say most parents that want their children to be doctors, and then this child doesn't want to be a doctor. Naturally, the father would not want to express, when it comes to academics, his passion with the child. The way he will express it with the one that is going for the doctorate course. Now, because, he's doing what he wants. Now, the one that is not doing what he wants, he tends to kind of focus on finding a way. Not saying, I love them the same way. So if I buy you things, I have to buy. Now, because the manner in which we express our love is what will not be the same. But our love for them is the same, is equal, like you said. The love is equal because it is the love that drives you to want to work on the child, to get good grades, to get good character, to become a successful child in life. But the way you do it will not be the same.
And now, this same thought process, if you look at it in the case of best friends, for you to have a best friend, you must like or love and tolerate this person in a specific way, to show that no matter what this person does, or no matter what this person does to me,
correct,
you are still my friend. No matter the season, no matter what, you're still best friends. And now you're going to tell me that you have that same exact feeling with multiple people, or multiple people, and tell me that, they are my best friends. No matter whatever they do, they will always be my friend, my best friend.
I agree with you 100%. It's another scenario you can look at. Okay, you've just said she's my best friend. Now you can't have another person as best. So that means there's no competition yet among these best to determine who is the best.
Who is the best? So it's a fight.
It's like a game that is still stuck at the quarterfinals. With this perspective, extracting this perspective is basically to let people know, guys, enough of this blind relationship. I see it as a blind relationship in humanity. And that's one of the shades of humanity. We tend to accept hypocrisy as a norm on some issues of life, like love, tolerance. The other day, when we were looking at this topic, I told you that the reason why you would tolerate your best friend is because you've gone through things together So you are used to those things you've gone through, both good and bad and ugly. So when you see her shouting at you, or
you accept it because you know exactly where it's coming from.
But when a stranger is coming and is barging at you, hey,
I'll slap you.
Why? Because you are not in that category of relationship.
Yes.
You are
I don't tolerate you to that point.
I cannot tolerate you in that space. It doesn't make you look odd. It doesn't make you look uneven. It doesn't make you look unhuman. It's human for you to choose who you allow to come into your space. Very good example I was talking about in the office some few weeks ago. I was eating. A good scenario. I was eating. You're laughing now. Because for many years, from while I was a kid, this has always been coming up, and I'm like thinking, why? Who did this to humans? I'm eating, I'm drinking. And then one of my friends comes in, or a family friend, or just name it, anybody that you feel is relate with, friends, colleagues, clients, anybody. The norms in, maybe let me say in Africa, or generally most humans, they expect that you are eating,
you should invite,
should be the one to invite and say, oh, you make me well, come join me. No, I tell them that if I didn't invite you, what should you do if you actually have a relationship with me? You should ask me, can I join? If you are interested. Because what's the point? I call you, I say, okay, can you join me? And the person says, oh no, I'm okay. Most times they just tell you to do that because it shows that you
want to show courtesy. They want to show
you are showing courtesy.
Yeah.
But I tell them, how many times do you show courtesy in other areas of life? When I'm in the classroom doing my exams.
You're not going to ask me to write my exams.
No. Can I show you courtesy? Say, please, can you open your book and
show me the
question
answers.
Number 7? No. Who decides what happens in your space? Is it the friends that are not real friends? Or the society that don't care whether you will live or die? Or you? So I always tell them, if peradventure I didn't call you and you want to come, that's the part that got me angry. Now I didn't call these people. Occasionally some of them were now like, but Mara, why are you not calling me? Then I look at them like, that same mouth that you used to ask me, why didn't I call you? Why don't you just ask?
Can I join you?
Can I join you? Must it be me?
It's not a crime.
I'm the one that is hungry. I had to go make the food, or I prepared the meal, my lunch, and came with it to the office. If you are coming to the office to meet me by any chance for whatever reasons, food is not part of it. Now, if you want to eat out of the food, why don't you be the first to ask? Either ask it, receive it.
Exactly.
Not either receive it, ask it.
It doesn't go that way.
Why must it be a crime for the person that owns the food if he did not invite other people? I don't invite you when I'm eating food with my wife. Even if you happen to come in and I'm in the room with her on the bed, I will not call you and say, come have a...
That's just going to be weird.
Exactly. So it's weird to me when I came growing up and and I ask myself, why is it only on food matter? When the person is hungry, they don't say, oh, why don't you invite us into your hunger mood?
I know. They feel like, because it's food. Food is something that you can share. Food is something that, you're supposed to eat and enjoy together.
Have you ever been treated like that when you're drinking water?
Yeah. Well, water is water. You can get water anyway. It's because food you can't get it anywhere, so we should share.
Can you get women anywhere? So we should share women.
Apparently, there are many women in the world.
So you see, very, very good, very good. Now, can we share? Can we get money anywhere? Why don't you call me when you have money in your wallet?
That won't be. It's because they worked hard for it.
Oh, I didn't work hard to make. So you see the scenario around this thing. I just feel it's all kind of a fake, unrealistic lifestyle. And I tell people, I don't take that. I call people. But should in case I don't call you, that time I'm not interested in calling you. If you are really interested, You ask first and see if I will not be able to show a kind gesture to allow you to eat with me. But don't come blaming me or accusing me for not calling you to join me at the table. No. It doesn't go that way. We should own up for our lifestyle. You don't. I don't buy those types of kind of stereotype behavior that fine. We grew up like that in Africa. We are taught that when somebody comes and you're eating, you just welcome them. But I don't believe it's realistic. Just like what you're saying, my best friend. It's not realistic. Let's not fake it.
Exactly.
The earlier the better.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah, be true to yourself.
True to yourself, yeah.
That's why you see nowadays we have a lot of friendship, relationship being broken.
Exactly.
Because it means they're just taking it like a cliche.
Exactly.
Oh, my best friend.
They weren't real with themselves from the start.
As you are listening to us right now, viewers, I believe that not every one of you that have subscribed to this channel are going to be getting the same, the same knowledge from us, even though all of you are hearing us the same time, the same way. Why? Because you're all different.
Exactly. You're taking different things. There
are some things we are going to ask you to do. Not every one of you will do it. Because the way you take the show is different. That's what happens in school. We all sit in the class, 10, 20, 30, 40 people.
But only 5 passes.
But only 5 gets to understand what the teacher is even saying. Don't even talk about passing. If I will play a kind of devil's advocate here, I will say, well, humanity allows that because they see that as a shadow. It's not important. They are not focusing on it.
It's not the main shade.
It's not the main shade. But I can tell you, the shade of any object is that object.
That's it. That's just basically it.
That's it. Because you can't have the shade if you don't have the object. When light is put on the object, then the shade is casted. So what we are doing now, we are putting light on this shade so that another form of shade can be casted. And you can see this shade is not good. It's very, very vague. Who is your best friend? Choose. Even God has his best friends. You should know. Don't fake it, and your friends will not fake it with you. But if you keep faking it, you're going to be disappointed all the way. Your best friend that you think is your best friend is going to one day shock you. Which leads us to a tolerant aspect. If you don't fix this area, you will not even know how to tolerate people. You only tolerate people when you have taken them closer to the inner circle.
Yeah, and another thing is that tolerance has different levels. There are different levels of tolerance, because the thing is, if I just meet you now, you're an acquaintance, right?
Yeah.
Now, the tolerance level, it's there. I'm testing the waters. Exactly, I'm testing. If I see, okay, this person is good enough, we can have a vibe. Once the vibe starts getting strong, I can now call you my friend.
Yeah.
But now, once I feel like this is just, it's flying. Now, there's a way that tolerance now goes, there's a level beyond tolerance.
You just let the person slide through some things that no other person will
Exactly.
do.
No other person can, only that person. That's when that's what they now call love. That one is now love, because it's beyond tolerance.
Yeah, you allow the person,
I don't tolerate this person anymore.
The person easily, you tolerate him.
No matter what this person does, I just accept it, because I've grown to like this person's personality. I've grown to like everything about this person.
I love that. I love this topic. I love this topic. This shade of human beings, I love it so much. Tolerance. It's a huge thing that I'm going to divert into another scenario now, which in humanity I strongly, I discuss it a lot with friends here and there on different areas of a human being. The sexual life, the marital life, the academic life, religious life. In all these sections and areas of a human being, you find out that tolerance is just a consistent expression. In the church, how often do we tolerate each other?
In the church, we're taught to tolerate each other because, we are Christians. So no matter what happens, I'm a Christian, I have to forgive, because that's what the Bible says. So at the same time, it doesn't mean I have to surround myself with you. doesn't mean we're in the same church. Doesn't mean I have to go. Nah, no. Because the fact that we're in the same church and the Bible says, we are Christians, treat each other right. But once you go outside of the church, do we vibe? Is that
this
it's not there exactly?
It's just why I said I love this word tolerance, because you can discuss it in so many angles. It's got, like you said, it's got levels.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tolerate everybody equally. I think you also said that at the
you can't. You can't.
Because the only way you can tolerate someone is if you have been with the person over. It's like you've been tested over and over, and then you have known the question before it comes to you again. It's like a deja vu. It's like you are in a time loop. You already know, okay, this is the question and this is the answer.
I already know the answer. I'm prepared for it.
That's why you don't need to go through any pain anymore.
Yeah.
So you just tolerate. The relationship is there. But I mean, you are in a church. You have not even known everybody, and they expect you to tolerate them. No, that's not a practical approach to teaching somebody 2 levels. We all go from class 1 to class 2 to class 3 in academics. That's why I was going to academics. There are areas of human beings. Why doesn't the school tolerate you and just forgive you if you cheat once? Or you just manage to forge your certificate and you are working with it once and then you are caught. It's okay, we forgive you once. We tolerate you for doing this because you have been a faithful staff. We don't want to fire you. We'll keep you. No, because they will tell you we have 0 tolerance for fraud. Why do they have 0 tolerance? It's got levels.
It's got levels, exactly.
I'm just trying to show you that in all these areas of human being, it doesn't exist. These levels don't exist.
Yeah.
They try to tell you to create the level here, but when you get here, no, there's no level. You steal and you're caught, you go to jail.
Yeah.
That's what the law says. But the same judge, when he gets to his house, if his child
does the same thing.
He will not say, no, the law of this nation says you must not steal.
He will try to hide it.
He will say, no, the law of my house.
Exactly.
I will forgive you. So now, forgiveness is taught. The nation that wrote the Constitution believe in forgiveness. But they don't demonstrate it in law fully. They demonstrate it like in a selection process way. Those they feel like forgiving, first timer, they just do it. It's not equal. How do you expect us to now learn and understand tolerance properly?
That's why in Christianity, I don't want to say all religion, Christianity, that's why the level of hypocrites in Christianity is very high. The level of hypocrisy in the churches is extremely it's just beyond, because the thing is,
I don't want to sound like I'm shading the Christians.
No, it's not a shade. No, just look at this scenario.
Tolerance a lot.
Yeah, look at this scenario exactly. You're telling us to tolerate each other, but now once we step outside that building that we're all worshiping together, you hear this group talking about that person. They're being judgmental, or they're talking behind that person's back. Now the tolerance is gone. I don't like this person anymore. It's just because we're Christians. I'll be like, okay, bless you, God bless you, God bless you. After that, this guy behind his back, I'm like, I don't like this guy. This guy is like,
that's why I said this word now, that I don't want to shade Christians today.
But you still shade them one day.
Somehow I have to, because they propagate. They're one of the. I think they're one of the most. Let me say, the Christianity as a religion propagates tolerance more than any other religion, but they practice it less. I'll give you a very good example. Just that the one that is directly on the core of their faith. Christians believe that God came for all. Yet, if you have not accepted Christ, they reject you. They give you names, the unbeliever. They classify you based on your character. they kind of stigmatize you. A good example is the gays and the lesbians, the LGBTQI community. I don't understand why the Christian community cannot tolerate them.
Apparently it's in the Bible. They're going from the scriptures that both sex mustn't.
Okay, I like where you started it from. Okay, the question now is, have they gone through the Bible to see where they need to question those areas? How was the first man and woman able to multiply and replenish the whole earth?
I have no idea.
Or how did this idea in the first place, like I told you, it's centered on their core faith. They believe that God created the whole earth. So who created gays? Though the idea of gayism, where did it come from? Oh, the devil. Who created devil? If God, guys, if God has not taken a bazooka and boa, 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 and kill all the devil and the demons, what is your problem? God tolerates them. He allows them to do what they want to do. Even you, God says to every man in Revelations, continue to do. Those that know how to do good, continue to do it. Those that know how to do bad, continue. My reward is with me. And that's why I used to preach this thing, and I tell them that I'm a Christian, and I will tell you, I tolerate anybody to do what they want to do, not to me. What they want to do.
Pertaining to their own life.
There's a difference. That's what that revelation was saying. Continue to do what you want to do. Not whether you're doing it to God, you're accepting God. No. That you don't accept God, it's not my problem. That you don't accept the ways of God, it's none of my problem. It's you and God. And that's why God is now saying, okay, you on earth, continue. If you know how to do good, if you know how to do bad, not to anybody, to you doing something. Continue. My reward. Now, that's why I tell people, do you have a reward you want to give the gay, the LGBTQ community? If you don't have, why can't you tolerate them? Why are you worried about their sexual preference?
Yes.
Who cares how you sleep with each other? It's
That's
only a human being that sleep with each other. Demons don't sleep with each other.
That's true.
There's no sex in the spirit. It's in your mind, in your body. If you see yourself as a boy, it's your problem. If you see yourself as a girl, it's your mind. Everything operates in our mind.
My own thing is that as long as what you want to do or what you see yourself as does not affect, if you see yourself as a boy or see yourself as a girl, just don't let it be an issue to somebody that is next to you. Don't make a problem.
Basically, you're saying, whatever you are doing, and that's my yardstick, whatever you are doing, as long as it does not violate another
that's the word, exactly.
Ways of life.
Yes.
Period.
That's it.
As long as it does not bring violence, force to another person's life to change his ways, then you are going to get 100% marking of your own deeds.
Exactly.
Without any extra. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. So God will judge. He said he has the reward. He's the one that has the reward. He's going to, you make this person. So I'm going to add part of his sins to yours.
To you,
which is very logical.
Exactly. You are the one that costs.
If you help me to make money,
exactly.
you will get commission
get a
out
reward,
of it. If you help me to make losses, you share out of it. That's what we do in life. So it's logical. And that's the way I deal with this matter. That's the way I see this matter. That's my perspective about it. Tolerance should be on a personal basis. You should not use any tradition, customs, religion,
rules,
doctrines, constitution to force another man to tolerate. Like, for example, when the governments of some nations start making LGBTQ community policies, no. There's a policy for human beings. The human rights laws are still there. You don't have to elaborate.
Why are you now making it like special?
Yeah, you don't have
this
to make it special.
they're still humans.
They're
That's
still
basically
human.
it.
And the same thing you do to a human, you should do to them.
Yeah.
Every book that is spiritual is not treated in the court of law as physical. That's why in the court of law, they don't believe in muti, juju. They don't believe in it. If they cannot see the evidence,
If there's no evidence, then
there's nothing they can talk
happened,
about.
yeah.
So if you cannot bring that thing from the spiritual to the physical, sorry, we don't believe
That's
in
it,
it.
yeah.
Why? Because we can't judge it if we cannot see it. If we say someone commits murder, if you cannot produce the body, sorry, there's no murder case. So basically, same thing, same rules, same law, same logic here. Tolerance, I believe, comes from when we put spotlights on general things like this. We put spotlight on it and say, okay, tell me what your problem, Christians, religious people, tell me what's your problem. Why should you focus on gays not going to heaven?
Rather than focusing on telling them what you were told to tell them about God and let them decide or let God work in them.
Thank you.
You know,
You focus on them not being accepted by God. Gays are not. It's clear in the Bible.
nobody told you that they're not.
Even in that same Bible, it was clear to every one of us that all have sinned
Exactly.
and falling short of the glory of God. So, here we are. The whole world, if the message of tolerance, the message of, of acceptance, love, has to be balanced. You just have to do it on a personal basis. Let everyone have the free choice and the free will.
But the thing is, people don't want it to be that way. You know, people that are after power or after authority or after a status want it to be that whatever you do, let it be from me. I told you to be like
Control.
this. Control, exactly. They want it to be that, you know, I said, if I say, you know, live like this, then you have to live like this. Then if you go against that, then you're wrong.
So you see why I'm saying that we all have to accept that we are in the same boat. I am out of the boat. I tell people I'm so free like a bird. My perspective. That's why you see on Perspective Lifestyle Podcast, we focus on perspectives. We don't impose our perspective. We tell you how we feel. I mean,
whether you take it or
if you don't
not,
agree with it, no problem. You can comment down below and put your own perspective there.
Yeah.
There are obviously there's going to be somebody that is reasoning the same way you're reasoning, and there will be a lot of people reasoning the same way I'm reasoning. For me, I try to balance myself, because if I'm saying my perspective is balanced, I try to make sure I look at everything in total. With every religion, if, for example, I allow you to do what you want to do, that's why I'm saying let me also do what I want to do, because I have given you a balanced choice.
Yeah.
That's why God gave us that choice in the first place.
The free will.
So that He can make the world balanced, even though He is the all in all, the Almighty.
Yes, giving you that choice
But He
to do
still wants
whatever
you to
it
know
is
you are balanced.
Yeah.
You can still do what you want to do, even though I may be punishing you for doing what I don't like.
No, the thing
But
is, He has told you that you will be
have the
punished
choice.
if you do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You can decide, okay,
But
I
you
still
have
want to
the
do that
choice
wrong.
to do what you want to do. This doesn't mean that we say, okay, if you want to steal, go and steal.
No.
The yardstick is, I told people that the whole 10 Commandments is focused on one thing: love. Like the Bible says. And why? Because we started from there.
Yeah.
You can't love somebody if you cannot tolerate the person.
Yes.
You cannot tolerate somebody if you cannot analyze the person to know what you accept about the person or not. So that's why you see with God, it starts with acceptance. He puts life and death there. See, but I advise you choose life.
Choose life, exactly.
It's
Yes,
like,
giving you the option.
when I went to voice,
Choose one, yeah.
was that musical competition?
The voice where
The
you
voice.
choose between
Then
one of
when
the
you choose
judges.
between it, I mean,
Exactly.
are you going to tell me all of them are bad?
No, that's
they are all the best.
Yeah, you just decide which one you want to go
choose.
for.
And when you choose, doesn't mean you hate the other person.
No,
it's your
it's
choice.
preference. Yeah.
That's what God wants. You see, we are all balanced in our position. We are all judges. We are all gods. That's why I say ye are gods. When you are choosing by yourself, that time you are a God. Now, when your choice violates another person's choice, you have just found yourself in you're like a nation that violates another nation. What happens? They say international incidents will happen. Same thing will happen. When you violate another man's position, immediately that man begins to tell you, hey, I don't like what you're doing. Now that's a warning sign. I don't like what you're doing. You know you have to cross back to your lane. That's the language we should need to learn to understand when we are relating with each other.
And also learn to listen.
Meaning that the person is telling you, I cannot tolerate that from you. You are not in this circle.
Yeah.
Move back.
And if you pass, if you
organize
exceed your
yourself.
lane, you cross the boundaries, then you get
Then
what's
you
coming
see
for you.
that internationalism, you start fighting anger, and all these things we experience in the world begin to come. Like when thieves come to your house, the thief is trying to violate your privacy. If you have a double barrel, you bring it out and you start shooting. If you don't have, he oppresses you and gets away with it. And you now have to leave the decision to God or the government to do something about it. So we go through this roller coaster in life on these issues of tolerance and topic because we are not being truthful to each other from onset. So over time, we see people violating each other. I can easily just violate it because I don't even understand it, because we say tolerate, but we don't practice tolerance in the church. We don't practice tolerance in the house. A lot went through my mind when we were looking at it. I'm like, this is a huge. We can't
finish this.
We can't finish this. This series.
We're just, the thing is, we're just saying our perspective on certain types of things, certain topics, certain ideas, certain ways of life that people live. This is just our opinion. If you don't agree with it, just leave your opinion in the comment section.
We'll really appreciate it.
That's basically it. That's the end of the video.
Rounding up session.
See you guys on the next episode. Next week. Subscribe, like, share, comment. That would be really helpful.
We'll appreciate that.
Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace. Sure.